I mean, I love my mission with all of my heart, and so I could sit here and chat your ear off for days about kind of mission stories and experiences that we've had. But one that comes to mind just off of the top of my head is a guy called Rudy, and it was just an amazing experience for me, and I think obviously for him, and for all that got to be involved with Rudy. Um, so kind of what happened is we get a call from the bishop, and he says, hey, so there's this lady that's just moved into the ward and she needs a blessing. Can you elders, there's no one else in the ward that can go, can you elders go and give her a blessing? And so we said, yeah, sure, we can do that. And we went over to the house that the bishop said that she was, and we got to meet her, and turns out she was living with another guy, like kind of in a basement apartment or whatever it is. And she was just going through some rough times, and so she needed a blessing. So gave her a blessing, and as we were about to leave, the guy whose house it was, he kind of showed up, and he started talking to us. His name was Rudy, and so we're like, hey, golden opportunity. She's a member, but he's not a member of the church, and so here we go. And so we started talking to him, and it kind of like got to the point of being confrontational at one point, because he was like, well, I'm from this evangelical church, and like we're performing miracles and healings like every single Sunday, like what do you guys have, like type of thing. And like we try to introduce like a doctrine, like we try to say, hey, like here's the Book of Mormon or whatever it is, and he'd be like, oh, like don't even like tell me about that, like I've got my church, whatever it is. And so eventually it came to the point, confrontation, we were like, hey, you know what, we'll just leave it there. And so we took the Book of Mormon, and we left it with him. And we came back again, because the bishop said, hey, she needed some help again. I think it was to move some stuff, and so we went over again and we helped her, and he was there again. And we started talking to him, and it was kind of the same deal. It kind of got to that confrontation again. It's just like, my church versus your church. Like, you guys can't tell me anything. But at the end of the lesson, we said, hey, were you able to read some of the Book of Mormon? And he was like, no, I don't even know where it is, whatever. And so we kind of left it at that. And we're like, we had written our names and our numbers in the Book of Mormon. If he was going to call us, he was going to call us, just whatever, because we can't go any further. We asked to set up an appointment. He said no. So a couple weeks go by, might even been a month, and we get a voicemail on our phone, and it's Rudy, and he says, hey, elders, kind of some weird things happened, and I'd like you to come over again. And we were like what? Like, wasn't this the guy that like just said his church was better than ours and all of that kind of thing? And so we're like, fine, like we'll go over. And so we came over to the house, and there was just a completely different demeanor with him. And as we sat down and talked to him, he shared how he was going through a really rough day one day, and even though he didn't know anything about the church, he found the Book of Mormon somewhere in his bedroom, and he started to read. And as he read, now what he'll explain it as is the Spirit. He was touched by the Spirit, and he said, hey, like I want to learn more about this book. And so we got to share the restoration with him, and we invited him to be baptized. 3 weeks later, Rudy was baptized, a member of the church, by one of the members in the ward. It was just an incredible experience to me to see the role of the Book of Mormon in changing someone's life. And that experience, it kind of changed my perception on missionary work, because at first I thought it was like, hey, if we present this message in like the coolest way possible, like they have no chance but to believe, like they have no choice, But it wasn't us. It wasn't the way that we shared it, but it was him picking up the Book of Mormon and reading it, and that combined with the Spirit was able to help him kind of realize that it was true, and realize that there was something more to it. And now he's an endowed member of the church. He's a ward missionary, and he's going strong. So it's an awesome thing to see.